Welcome back once more, ladies and gentlemen. Game 3, the 8th match of our first best of 3 of the night between Titan and Invasion is now underway. Last game, Invasion looking very strong over Titan with their pushing strat. Enigma, Nature's Prophet, Dragon Knight, just too much for Titan to handle. I'm Zyori, joined once again by Blaze, and we have some unfortunate news here. Net on Team Titan, not in Game 3. He was having connection issues last match, and they've replaced him. We've got a new stand-in here, Blaze.
That we do. I'm not sure exactly. I was trying to look up aliases. Some people are just calling it Yamate, but I'm not seeing anything of this sort here. It's just a generic stand-in as far as I can tell.
A Lancer is war not fun. I
yeah.
really don't know what that means.
And none of his aliases are helping me in the slightest, so we're going to have to go with that, unfortunately. And
I doubt it's Yamate. That's all I'll say about it. I feel like he would not be under a weird alias if he was playing with the team. Plus, his computer blew up, right? Didn't it?
Yeah, he definitely was having some issues there. I don't know if anything's been resolved, but obviously we're having issues with net here. He had so many disconnects last game, and it's really unfortunate not to have that signature duo of supports, because that's what I look for from Titan. I know that KOXY, Ohio, and previously Yamate were going to farm well and perform well, but it was always Extinct and net to work together to not only meet my expectations, but exceed them every single time. Just go in, find the kills, find those openings that you never would expect, and just learn something new. But in this case here, we've got duo stand-ins, one presumably in the off lane. 2D's been playing pretty well, but on top of that, a second one here for presumably the support role set.
Yes, absolutely. And Viper and Naga make it into the initial bans here. We saw Viper in both games. Was he in both games?
I don't think he was in the last one.
He was not in the last game. Yeah, that's my bad. Anyway, we saw Viper earlier today, a hero worth a ban, and I'm a little surprised the Void has made it so far into this draft without getting picked or banned. It was a first pick Razor, and Doom Rubik here, the opener for Invasion. Maybe Titan are angling for a potential third or fourth pick Void to go with that Skywrath, depending on what gets banned out here. And Shadow Shaman will be banned out once again.
Viper was not in the first game, but he was in the most recent one. But,
okay.
Yeah. The Morphling is banned out as well, so we're going to have to see a different carry from ADTR is the bottom line, because he played those two in the previous games and having to show a bit of flexibility. But you're also having to pick up a hero that is not countered by the Skywrath Mage Silence, and that isn't actually that common. Like, I mean, even if you think of Lifestealer, who's great against spells, if you get silenced by Skywrath Mage instantly, then you can't even rage. So maybe just a raw BKB carry that can fall back on these guys. Maybe they'll go for the Doom because he just has that much raw HP, and they can put him in the carry role set. We do see Fury now, once again, for Ghost and Sand King, but this time not in the hands of net.
Yeah, Sand King's still a scary hero in general, but we've talked about the hero player combo, and we'll see. I guess it'll be the stand-in playing on Sand King. Kind of curious to see the difference in playstyle and who actually takes the helm on that second support here. But Invasion, the push worked for him last game, and now they have Nature's Prophet. Not a lot of synergy around it quite yet. 3 pretty solid heroes, but I guess we'll see how this draft starts to come together with their 4th pick. Kind of hard to tell how they'll lane it, and Doom, a great hero to open with because he's just so darn flexible.
Yeah. The one thing I like about the Nature's Prophet pick is that the Skywrath and Sand King don't have the best of tools to deal with the Treants. So if you micro them appropriately, you can screw up the Creequilibrium, he will get some experience, and he can just hang out very far back. If you picked up like a Tide Hunter or something here, then he could still be brought down. The range of Concussive Shot is amazing, and you only have to be like level 2 or 3 to actually be able to get some nice kills off of him. So I think Ghost will perform quite effectively here on the Furion. Very comfortable with that hero, and they're gonna now synergize with the Death Prophet, which they're picking up for the solo mid.
Yeah. I see someone in chat here saying that this stand-in is HYHY. Is there any chance that that's possible?
I don't believe so. Yeah. I think that's I mean, not even the right game.
Pure trolling. Yeah, I figured so. I just thought I'd bring it up. Always hard to tell, man. Sometimes Twitch chat is on the money, and sometimes they give me a run for my money. It's a coin flip. I don't know. We'll see. Mystery man.
10 seconds
but,
remaining.
as you mentioned, push starting to shine through here with the Death Prophet. And will Titan grab the Faceless Void? They have a decent team for it. Sand King and Skywrath, two great supports
Reserve time.
when you have a Faceless Void on your team, whether he's in the off lane or in the position 1.
Yeah, I agree with that sentiment in general. I think Faceless Void is extremely potent in this current metagame, and the Skywrath and Sand King are the heroes they want at their back. But I think, yeah, there we go. Something more defensive. Something that can hold towers for even a minute longer. Because as we saw in the early laning stages of Game 2, it was Invasion to push down the tier 1, and Faceless Void to just look on in horror. Like, the tower just got destroyed, and he could barely stay in experience range, let alone actually counter push it. So, adding in the marksman machines here, they make it so that now it's not as easy for them to bring it down. You kill off all the treants. Death Prophet doesn't have anything to tank up while she goes for the exorcism damage. So, overall, this will keep their towers alive for a lot longer, and still have a relevant period of mid to late game dominance if they can go for like the Aghanim Scepter Ethereal Blade plus an Ancient Seal. That's like 80% of somebody's health right there. So a lot of cool potential. We'll see what they can do with it.
Yeah, you're right. There is some synergy, but I think it's just more so Titan got run over by push last game. Tinker is one of those heroes just known for his anti-push. Moving into those marching machines is so difficult. As they say, you fool me once, shame on me. Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. Titan not trying to get fooled again here, especially with elimination on the line. Again, it could be a Faceless Void 5th pick. I'm probably starting to sound like a broken record, but Tinker and Void, they work well together here, Blaze. I'm calling it. I think it's gonna be the offlaner for Titan this game.
I don't know. It's a really rough call. There's so many ways they could go with this. Hell, they could go with a Warlock and have some fun with Upheaval plus Fatal Bonds and the March Machines. Like, they can do so many really interesting things. But
that would be cheeky.
Yeah, we'll just really have to see exactly where they want to go. The fact that they have a second stand-in alone really changes up their strategy as far as where they want to go with it. If they can feel they can rely on the Sand King, if they've scrimmed with him once before and he stood in for them then that gives them more confidence. But because we don't really have any information on that part, it's very difficult to speculate. Even still, Invasion, they're going with a similar strategy overall as they have in the past. Now they're looking for a support that can add to the push, and it is going to be the Enigma.
There you go. And, well, worked for him last time, so why not try it again? A lot of pushing power, but I think this draft is a little bit weaker than what Invasion had last time. The big game breaker, it seemed, that last match was the Dragon Knight. He was just so damn tanky. He was what stopped that Death Ward from just crippling their team. It seemed in almost every team fight where they had the Chrono Death Ward combo, it was focused on the Dragon Knight, who had more than enough armor just to tank through it. And here they don't have that same level of tank ability. Of course, there's no Witch Doctor, but Doom is their tankiest hero, and sure, he can tank up, but in those earlier stages, that lack of armor really works against him.
Yeah, so final pick coming through. 30 seconds of reserve time remain, and they really have everything they need to start with their draft. Like, they already have some really good physical and magical damage distribution, but Timbersaw is going to be their final pickup to kind of have somebody on the front lines, to be cutting through trees so Furion has a hard time escaping from certain situations, and just in general to tank up a lot of abilities. He's a very beefy hero, and even if he gets doomed, he's still able to just kind of swing away and cause some grief. So I like to see the Timbersaw here. I'm not sure if it's the ideal pick here, but yeah. Sometimes you just have to cut your loss and say, okay, this is what we're going with. This will work out all right, considering how 2D played the Bristleback previously. I have some pretty high expectations here.
Yep. Yeah, they did need a front liner, and not a bad game for the Timbersaw. Again, we talk about him in the strength core, but he still does a lot of damage to these squishier heroes. I also feel like Tinker is going to have kind of a field day this game. All of these targets are semi-squishy. Death Prophet will tank up, so will Doom, but there's a lot of potential, as you talked about, with that Ancient Seal for Tinker. Just kind of any target he wants to go for should be a pretty easy kill for him once he gets those core items, especially with the Dagon and that initial round of bursty items after the BOTs and the Blink. But, of course, we'll be stuck in another pause here as we wait. Oh, okay, just a quick one. Phew. It wouldn't be SEA Dota without pauses and disconnects, Blaze.
Yep, it's Flobby Dota and it's Pause Dota, and that's the SEA Dota way. But okay, that's a ward on the ground inside the Radiant camp. GG. 0 minutes in. I don't know. That's an unfortunate loss because they want to ward up the Enigma's jungle, and now they're -1. Not only is it not going to be accomplishing that objective, but it's also an observer over a sentry. So -1 ward. They have some nice vision against Nature Prophet courier snipes, I guess. I don't know. It's just tactical.
Tactical ward, you know, just in case. Nature's Prophet. We'll see him coming. Our courier might still die, but at least we'll see it. I guess that's good stuff. Oh, boy. Well, you win some, you lose some. The other observer comes down right here on the high ground entryway into the jungle. So they'll do what they can with their singleton observer. Uh-oh. Pings. Thought they might throw down a sentry, but no, they won't. Or will they? Rubik, he's thinking about it. Okay, they'll double back.
If they lose both, this is crippling to just be completely blind across the map, but it looks like they're going to look out for the moment. He would have tried it sooner rather than later, so I think they're going to keep that vision at least. That one was placed by the Timbersaw as he was moving about.
The battle begins.
And they ended up blocking their own camp, which I'm not sure. I guess that hurts Sanking quite a bit. I think that's probably what they are pinging about is the hitbox on the spawn of the hard camp, because like it is actually a pretty difficult one to time out. Like I know this one will absolutely block it, but that one maybe a little more questionable. So
it's right on the edge. Yeah, we'll see.
I think Alanter is like, okay, well I messed up the ward in the first place in my own base, but hopefully we didn't mess up the second one and completely shut down my own farm.
That would be a very sad way to open out this game. Now, Alanter as well as Extinct are grouped up in the mid lane here, ready to gank this Death Prophet to get things started. But finding the opening will be a little more difficult. Similarly, Invasion grouped up about the bottom lane, ready to hop on to Tootie. He will skill the reactive armor first point, so no Timber Chain to get away, which could prove a mistake if they get really aggressive here. It's always a little bit of a gamble with that first point on the Timbersaw. But both sides will be unsuccessful in their initial ganking efforts as the supports of Titan rotate bottom and the supports of Invasion rotate bottom, and both of them will TP out. That's two very early TP scrolls used from Invasion.
Yeah, just trying to get a feel for the lanes. They saw the Timbersaw down bottom earlier, so maybe they thought it was going to be a solo safe lane Timbersaw, and some concern about aggro tries. They were going to be looking to maybe take up the enemy jungle and try to get some control there. Instead, they're going to go ahead and just let them do their thing, and the Treants will try to screw things over as best they can. So now we have here the solo off-lane KYXY Razor. Not really the ideal farming position. If OK gets some pulls off, as we see he has, this is going to put him in a dangerous position. He won't be, generally speaking, brought down by the Doom and the Rubik, but he will be just harassed to no end, and we're going to be seeing him substantially deprived of CS, resting more of their mid-game presence on Ohio's farm.
Yeah, though, as you say that, KYXY has gotten off to a pretty good start, 7-5 compared to the 4-0 Doom. Of course, that might change as the polls continue to commence and the support spend more time in lane, but at least out of the gate, KYXY is having a pretty good time against Doom. ADTR did grab a Centaur with his first Devour, so he gets the War Stomp. Not a bad spell for the Doom, but not particularly useful in lane. He's not really going to be able to use it to much avail against the Razor unless they set it up with the Telekinesis, and won't really help him out much in terms of his lack of EHP in the initial laning stage. So if KYXY mans up on him when there aren't supports nearby, that Static Link will certainly do some work on that armorless Doom. But yeah, see how it goes. And just to follow up on that discussion we had earlier, this ward does not block this camp here. So there you go.
Yep. Now we're going to see some smoke movement here. They went for another pull, so OK really helping out his lanemate Doom and putting him in a more defensive position. But if Extinct and Alanter were able to find the opening, that would have been absolutely immense to their initial start.
Yes, indeed. As Sentry comes down looking for the lane ward that isn't there. Of course, they won't find anything, but the supports up top will create a little space for the Razor and at least make Invasion think twice before moving back into the lane here. It is just OK with ADTR and Enigma focusing on farming. He was off to a little bit of a slow start, starting in the bottom lane and having to spend some initial gold on a TP he normally wouldn't have bought. Has now picked up the Soul Ring, and experience-wise, about half a level behind the mid-heroes. So compared to last game, at least, this Enigma is having a pretty good time.
Yeah. So now I'm going transitioning into this aggro try. If they can find some kill opportunities, it's amazing because of the fact that actually going for concussive just a little late, not going to be able to continue that Static Link, unfortunately. But the cool thing about this laning configuration is that they know that the Enigma can't really contribute so much from the Dire jungle. He's actually going to rotate all the way into the Radiant jungle just to feel a little bit more safe. And that's because of the aspect of aggressive tri-lanes versus Enigma, just the 2.5 lane. And also based on what's going on down bottom. Timbersaw versus Furion. An extremely favorable matchup for the Timbersaw. He's already forced Ghost back to base once, and maybe unnecessary, but he wanted the full mana bar and the extra clarities to start pushing. So here we go, FCFC dropping the Eidolons. Here are the Treants coming in from Ghost, and they're going to be hammering away this tower, just completely ignoring the Timbersaw, who's trying to clean them up.
Yeah, absolutely. Timbersaw now is level 5. He's gotten a lot of experience in this lane, has 2 points in Timber Chain and the Whirling Death. Of course, we'll miss the first blood as we look at this down bottom. Yep, FCFC will get killed down bottom, but KYXY in trouble as they draw the first blood onto the Sand King, and they will clean it up for a double kill in the top lane. A 1-for-2 exchange across the map, but it is Invasion that come out with the better of it. Not over quite yet as Ketchik in the mid lane popped the Exorcism, takes a lot of damage, laser to the face. They will bring him down. Tinker gets credit for the kill, and that will tie it up 2 apiece as the blood is drawn.
Yeah, quite unfortunate that they didn't get the first blood, but still evening up for 2 for 2. This is turning out to be a very active early game. Like, there's going to be action all across the map, even prior to Tinker's BOTs, and it's just because of how much each side wants to try to pull ahead just a little bit here. We've got a lot of damage on the tier 1 down bottom, below 500 HP, and yeah, a little bit of our extension from KOXY is punished heavily once they make their full rotation, and that's the effect of the Nature's Prophet. So overall, some great communication from Invasion. They do overextend a little bit with the Death Prophet, and she is shut down for the moment, but as a whole, if they can keep grouping up together, I think Invasion have a lot of potential trying to continue this laning phase.
Yep. Up top, we'll see Titan dive this tier 1 tower. Static Link steals a little bit of damage from the Doom. Alanter looking for the Burrow Strike, will find it onto the Doom. Extinct joining the party as well. Sandstorm, not enough to keep him alive. It's a 1-for-1 trade though now, make it a 1-for-2. KYXY looking for a recovery kill onto OK to at least make it an even trade. He'll find it. Now it's him versus Enigma. Throws out the Plasma Field. Eidolons are inbound. Out comes the Malefice, and that's a dead Razor. Invasion once again find the better of the trade. A 2-for-3 in the top. And Titan maybe regretting their choice to be hyper-aggressive there.
Yeah, a little bit sloppy. Trading blow for blow there was unnecessary, and they probably could have gotten out with at least the Razor in that situation. But yeah, they go big, they go deep, and unfortunately they come out just slightly behind. And that's before the Doom comes into play, the ultimate at least. The hero himself has been wailing away and farming effectively as well with this Devour, but now he's actually got the ultimate available as long as he has the mana pool to support it.
Yeah. And that's true. He has the magic stick. Only 4 charges on it, but has a little bit of extra sustainability there. Now, I want to comment on Ohio's Tinker here. He's gone for a slightly different build than at least I'm accustomed to seeing on Tinkers. He went for a 3-1-2, and now let's put that third point in March of Machines, but you don't see that third point in Laser very often. Usually it's either a value point at level 1 for the miss rate, or you'll see a lot of Tinkers go for that 2-2-2 style at level 6, where you go for the value point in Laser to double the damage and then start leveling at March of Machine with a second point in Heat-Seeking Missile. This 3-point in Laser and then switching over to March is just a little bit different from what most Tinkers do, I think.
Yeah, I would agree with that. They 80 extra damage. It doesn't seem as valuable. I was actually expecting just a purely Missile March-oriented build to fight well with the Skywrath at long range and to hold towers, but in this position, maybe it's the aspect that it isn't uncommon that makes it so powerful. If you can get a laser off that they expect to do 80 less damage and then suddenly they get bursted down, that unpredictability definitely gives you a little bit more potential to catch somebody off guard.
Yeah, that's true. It's a fair point. We'll see how it works for him so far. It's, I mean, not that big of a difference, but just more of an oddity than anything else. Exorcism used in the mid lane as Invasion go for a tower push. Tower getting very low. It is now in deny range. There's a black hole, but gets interrupted right away. FCFZ in trouble now. He will fall. Keshik Imba throws out a Crypt Swarm. And, okay, TP's in. We'll have a telekinesis on KYXY, and that will keep the DP alive. Tower does get killed by the Nature's Prophet. No denial coming out, but Ghost may not walk away for free. Tootie chasing him down. Timber Chain will connect. One more auto attack will bring down the Nature's Prophet. And there's the Chakram for good measure. Now, okay. On the run is Tootie, chases him down. He does have Arcane Boots. Plenty of mana to continue the pursuit, but won't go for it. And this time, Titan come out the victors. Beautiful silence on that Enigma. He got about a third of a second on that black hole before it was interrupted.
Yeah, if that. It was perfectly timed. Maybe just trying to prevent him from black holing, but the fact that he was able to cast it immediately after the black
Even
hole
better.
started was just absolutely beautiful. Big cooldown expended, and the team fight lost. Now Titan are absolutely pulling ahead, and we haven't really talked about it too much, but this Timbersaw is going to be getting pretty big here. He's got the most CS on the map.
Ohio in some trouble, takes a Doom. Extinct comes in. There's a silence, drops the full rotation onto ADTR. Buys some space for Ohio, and he will survive with 50 HP to spare. Whew, close call. But BOTs are up on the Tinker, obviously, here. Sorry, go ahead.
No, I mean, that's a great aspect for him. The BOT is enabling the Tinker's potential, but we're going to see on bottom lane here, even with the double damage, Death Prophet doesn't feel great about this. Gets denied, and now is getting bursted down hard.
Yeah, that's, oh boy, more than unfortunate for Ketchik. He just gets completely shut down. Now OK, on the run. Only level 4, so no spell steal quite yet. Will throw out a nice telekinesis to prevent the Timber Chain damage from coming in, but there's the Chakram. And Tootie low on mana, but there's plenty of support inbound. KYXY grabs a double kill as they finish off the Rubik. They deny the tower and get a 2-for-0 trade out of it. We'll switch our focus to the top lane where Alanter could find himself in a rough situation as his Sandstorm soon to expire. ADTR angling for an initiation, but now Ohio's rejoined, and they might be able to set up a kill on the Doom, perhaps. Burrow strike forward. Rockets fly in. There's the laser. March the Machine come through, but now Ohio gets stunned. Silence. Wrath of Nature brings him down. And it's a 1-for-0 swing the other way. Now Sand King nowhere to go. Has a TP scroll. No mana. And a Crypt Swarm will bring him down. And now it's Invasion to find a 2-for-0 in the opposite lane.
Yeah, that was awkward movement there from Alanter. They just brought in the dust, so they were going to kill him one way or another, but Tinker behind him assumed that there was going to be some potential action there against the Doom, and that just didn't happen. So these fights seem to really go either really well for Titan or really poorly. In this situation now, they're trying to hold against a tower that's just not going to survive, even with Tootie's great movements here. Actually, a great Chakram. Wow.
Flashback to MLG Columbus. The too easy for Arteezy as Tootie pops forward with a lot of damage. Death Prophet as well as Enigma get picked off. And the Doombringer walks away by the skin of his teeth with a few hit points to spare. Gets regenerated up from the Scorched Earth, but Timbersaw goes flying in. And another 2-for-0. Razor in the bottom lane will find a solo kill on the Rubik while we were watching that.
Yeah, it's actually interesting. The Death Prophet build right now is a lot less durable than I expected. He went for the Voidstone Null Talisman early, and Phase Boots as well doesn't give him anything as far as tank goes. He'll now start trying to build up his HP with Bracer, but I really feel like he was relying on a mechanism that's just not available yet to try to keep himself alive. 1,000 HP, not that much against Timbersaw, and really surprised how quickly he was able to be bursted down. So another cool thing they've utilized twice now is the mass TP strat with the BOTs on Tinker. The BOTs, even on a tower, doesn't increase the delay of an allied TP. What I mean by that is that the default TP channel time is 3 seconds, and then it goes up just a little bit, a second, second and a half, with each subsequent TP. But BOTs doesn't add to that time, so they can easily bring 3 or 4 people to a team fight just as readily as the Nature Prophet joining the fray, and that pretty much puts them even. They did this once at the bottom tier 1 with a triple TP, and now up top, just rallying the troops and bringing the pain.
Yeah, and with that said, Titan will do a 4-hero rotation for this top tier 1 tower. Invasion ready to defend. They've got a black hole available. Still no mech, as you were talking about. Enigma getting closer to the recipe, but his farm has really fallen off after these last few unfortunate skirmishes and that interrupted black hole. DP, Invisibility Rune on with an Exorcism available. Will go for the wraparound, but they initiate onto the Enigma. FZ falls before he can get off the black hole. Doom onto KYXY. Exorcism gets popped. They'll find a kill on Tootie. It's a 1-for-1 trade. KYXY, can he make the escape? It looks like he will. Meanwhile, on the other side of the fight, Keshik Imba finds a kill onto the Sand King. ADTR now gets repelled, and it's a 1-for-2 trade. Invasion come out ahead, but Titans stop them from pushing into the tower with the Exorcism. However, Ghost in the bottom lane. He will start pressuring this tier 2 tower pretty hard for a bit of Rat Dota. But KYXY is there to defend. No way to interrupt the TP, but keeps the tower from falling.
Yeah, in that position, the Doom was really nice to split up the team fight. They essentially, a couple had to go on the offensive, and Razor certainly had to fall back. They couldn't all group up together because of the black hole, and yeah, they were able to get a couple of nice kills in that situation. So we are going to be seeing the mechanism come out in just 400 gold. It looks like they really want to last hit this tier 1 tower for the Enigma to try to keep it up, but right now, Titan are really wanting to keep it up. March Machines come out. That tier 1 is only at 100 HP, but they're trying to hold.
Yep, they have a glyph. They'll use it. It's sort of unideal or less than ideal timing, but with so few hit points, you've got to use it sooner rather than later. They will secure the deny, and that puts Enigma one step closer to the mech, but if he keeps getting picked off, the timing is already completely soiled. 14 minutes in, you would have hoped to have it at least a few minutes ago, and it would have helped quite a bit in these last few team fights. Titan will commit 3 heroes to the top lane, and Tinker is in the well, probably looking to head back towards the top. Tower is at half health as they press forward. Doom using that Hand of Midas to buy time. 1,700 gold up on him.
Yeah. The unfortunate side of Titan is the current state of Alantir's farm. He's boots, CP scroll, and 700 gold banked, or 650 rather. And it's just like, that's not really going to contribute to this game in any real sense for a long period of time. Most of the fights that he's initiated and tried to lead Tinker into battle with have turned against them. And I'm never going to say that any professional player is dead weight, but in this situation, Sand King just isn't able to contribute on the same level as any other hero in the game.
Yeah, and part of the problem is both Position 4 and Position 5 of Titan are suffering from a similar plight. Usually with Net on the Sand King, you'll see the Position 5 struggling quite a bit, and at least that Position 4 will get some farm priority in the jungle, grab the Blink Dagger or whatever other core item you need, and here they're both just so poor. And Invasion have this Enigma who's made great use of the jungle, and that's one of the larger disparities here. If you look at the net worth, the farm that Enigma's been able to grab is pretty representative of that gold lead that Invasion had picked up of about 2,000. Experience is in favor of Titan now, with about 2,000 in their favor. So an interesting game on that front as Invasion grabbed the gold lead, but Titan finding slightly better experience farm. Part of that, the Tinker as well. He's now level 11, has the Blink Dagger in tow, and that's a Bloodstone now out on 2D's Timbersaw.
Yeah, that's actually a pretty well-timed Bloodstone, to be honest, and that's what you can expect from a safe lane farm role set. They definitely need to use the trees appropriately to make sure these engagements are worth their while and get the maximum efficiency from his spell usage. But, man, with a Bloodstone as Timbersaw, you just don't have to worry about mana almost at all. And so you can farm the jungle extremely quickly, you can be extremely active in the team fights, and it's only going to be the Doom to stop him. Previously, the Doom was used on Razor to prevent him from using the mechanism in the last fight, but we'll see if they're a little bit more threatened by the Timbersaw after this newest pickup.
Yeah, and Invasion now inside the Roche pit. They pop the Exorcism to secure an easy Roche. They do have a black hole available. Aegis of the Immortal goes to the Death Prophet, which is a little intriguing. Generally not regarded as a very good Aegis carrier because she's so cooldown reliant. Pops the Exorcism early on in the fight. If she gets bursted down, yeah, sure, she comes back to life, but without the Exorcism, she's not so scary. An interesting choice from Evasion, but the nice thing about it is in this next team fight, if they focus down TP, she can hold the focus down DP, she can hold the ultimate, and then on that second life, pop the Exorcism partway through the fight and clean house if Titan aren't ready for it. So can be useful, but would have expected it to go on the Doom or possibly even the Enigma, as FCFC has been the target of choice.
Yeah. I think a lot of eyes are on Ohio once again, because now we know exactly what to expect from 2D in the team fights, but Tinker is that one hero that has so much potential, but has a lot of difficulty in situations where there's so many disables. Like even just there, if they had known his position, Midnight Pulse would have cleared the trees, and a quick stun would have sealed his fate.
Well,
but
they cleared out with the trance. It was pretty close. They were going in for the Malefice as he TP'd out. It was, I think, a pretty close call for him there.
Yeah. I actually didn't realize I had vision from there. But yeah, now they're going to go ahead, smoke up, maybe try to go for a bait play up on the top lane. They know where Ohio was most recently, and with this Blink Dagger, they know he's going to be sticking around in the tree line. I don't know if, yeah, he's going to try to go and harass him back, and this smoke play might actually bring him down. No, the BOT's back. They'll have to wait a little bit longer.
Yep. Doom has a Blink Dagger up as well. I thought he may try and blink in and look for the Doom initiation, but it will end as an unsuccessful smoke gank for Invasion as Tinker draws all of their forces towards the top. He BOTs down bottom and just continues to commence in the farm, what every good Tinker should be doing. So right now for Invasion, Doom is their big farmer. He had that very early Hand of Midas, and I'm rather curious to see what build he moves into here. If it's kind of more of a
oh, Ghost! Oh, that was just long-range sniping abilities there. The rockets, the plasma field at maximum distance. I'm not surprised that anybody would miss that, because it's like, you don't expect that kind of death. And obviously Ghost didn't see it coming either, but there were like 2 machines marching the last little sliver of road he was trying to travel safely back to base, and it didn't work. And it's just like what we're seeing down on ADTR here on the bottom lane. He gets mech back up to about 600 HP, but that harassment from long range is just pounding away.
Yep, March Machine flies through. Ketchik comes in, pops the ultimate, but he may go down quickly here. No, instead uses the Yules aggressively and will secure a kill onto the Razor. It looks like, oh, never mind, he gets turned around upon. Eye of the Storm in the plasma field, too much, and that'll proc the Aegis of the Immortal. FCFC still alive, doesn't have enough mana for the Black Hole, has a Soul Ring available, but needs to be very wary about this. Radiant side in trouble as Tinker and Skywrath fall. They've picked off the Doom, but KYXY got one more plasma field, not enough to finish off the Enigma. They ping him out. It's a 1-for-3 trade, and the Aegis down here in the bottom lane, but Invasion come out ahead once more.
And we gotta look right now at where Alanter is. He's been farming this western camp, nowhere near the fight, completely out of mana, that he wouldn't be able to contribute for another 60 seconds at best. So in this position, they were trying to take a fight without him, which is at fault of the Titans' main individuals, trying to fight without the Sand King, without the Timbersaw, but also at the fault of the stand-ins for being so far behind at this state. I mean, picking up the Blink Dagger at 20 minutes, usually you expect more participation. So kinda, I think they're so used to like Net playing that Sand King and being so active and having such insane timings that they weren't really willing to put the brakes on in a situation where they needed to.
Yeah. At least he has the Blink Dagger now. Timing not ideal, but he finally buckled down, spent some time in the jungle, and Blink Epicenter online, that could be a pretty big difference here in these next fights, as Sand King really hasn't had too much of an impact so far. 0-4-4. He's been involved in a few of the fights, but yeah, haven't seen any big Epicenters come out quite yet. Ketchik is starting to come online now, has the casual Vitality booster following the Yules, and did pick up the Drums of Endurance. Pretty straightforward DP build here. He had an interesting trajectory, but now it's all leveled out, and he's tanked up pretty darn well. How's Tinker's farm looking? Very close to the Dagon, Null Tally, and the Staff of Wizardry in the inventory, and just farming up that recipe gold now, as Ohio actually farms the Dire jungle and limits some of their farming space.
Yeah. Now 2D's going to pick up a Blink Dagger here, which I find quite interesting. It's one of those items that you see rather uncommonly on Timbersaw, but it's not unheard of. And I'm trying to think of what it actually provides him as far as utility in this situation. But much better for long-range ganks on his Prophet. But with the Wrath of Nature flying out, I think a fight's about to start.
Yep, Ghost taking a lot of damage as Ohio blinks forward. They don't have enough for the kill. Glyph comes out onto the tower, and it's now in deny range. Ohio takes a Doom as well as a Silence. He'll be okay for now. The rest of the team follow up. They finally finish off Nature's Prophet and bring down the Rubik as well. Mystic Flare off the mark, but down goes the Enigma. Doom on the back foot. It's a full 5-man wipe. A clean sweep for Titan. They get the deny on the Tinker as well, and the kill on the tower. That's about as bad as it gets for Evasion, and it'll probably cost them a tier 2. What a burst of momentum.
Say what you will about Alanter for the first 21 minutes of the game, he just put his worth in right there. That Epicenter was absolutely insane. Set up KOXY for so many kills, 2 towers, absolutely nothing given, everything taken, and Invasion are now at a loss for how to proceed. I mean, they were in control of this game for so long, but you look at the graphs, oh my gosh, is that just a huge swing back the other way.
Just straight up in the air going back towards Titan. All of that footing that Invasion gained just evaporated. 3,000 experience lead for Titan, and the gold graph, oh, it jumps up even more from a 3,000 deficit to a 3,000 lead. Wow. 6,000 gold swing in the matter of about 45 seconds. That'll be a plate mail now up for 2D's Timbersaw with 1,600 gold to spare. Tinker has his Dagon. He had it before that, but now 1,100 gold, well on his way to Dagon level 2. And Razor, now level 16, and working on a BKB, Ogre Club, 1,800 Gs. Won't be too long before he grabs that recipe.
Yeah. So How's actually like camping out, trying to snipe Ancients away from the Enigma, and he very well might succeed. Yeah, that's going to be one going the way of the Enigma, and the other two just kind of hanging out here. At least he will zone him away from it. And it's all about this vision right now. The Radiant side have 2 wards behind enemy lines that is giving Tinker a great understanding of where the response team is. He knows where he can farm, where he can blink in trees, and where he just feels comfortable being active, aggressive, and farming and in killing. So this is really cool ward placement. I do like it, and I think it's going to enable Tinker to play very actively for the next few minutes.
Yeah, smoke in the mid lane from Titan. It was an Ag Scepter from KYXY. We'll see it in this fight. ADTR initiated upon and dropped instantly as the Mystic Flare flies out. Skywrath secures the kill, and now FZFC in some trouble. taking the damage from the Sky Wrath. Has the Black Hole available, still not silenced, but he's just too damn squishy. He's already popped his mech as well and forced to retreat. Only a 1-for-0 trade, but Titan on the aggressive and no sign of them backing up here. With the Ag Scepter on Razor, they'll start to cut down this tower, and one of the great things about grabbing the Ogre Club first, it gives you that flexibility.
Nice.
We'll see initiation here as they channel the Epicenter. This is disastrous for Invasion. Rubik's already gone down. Ghost falls, and FZFZ looking for the Black Hole, but now that his teammates are down, there won't be any follow-up damage. Tinker comes flying through. A lot of damage onto Ketchik. Follow-up from Tootie with that Blink Dagger. Timber Chain, well, won't be there for the kill, but Razor grabs it. It's another 5-for-0 clean sweep as Titan grab a Tier 2 tower out of it, and Invasion may not tap out right now, but at this point, Titan have so much momentum. I don't know how Invasion can turn this around.
Yeah, the entire fight, if you can even call that massacre as such, they didn't even get a chance to use their ultimates. Like, the Doom got killed off before he got the opportunity. Enigma had nobody to back him up if he went for a Black Hole, and like the Death Prophet was even out of mana and just hiding in her base trying to survive. So in this position, it seems like just a full turnabout case. With the pickup of that Blink Dagger on a Lantern, they have just opened new venues of attack. They are initiating the Blink Burrow Strike into 2D blinking on top of them and just delivering huge amounts of pure damage. And then, of course, that Epi follow through. This Timbersaw went from the basic Bloodstone charges, starting off with a stack of 8, going up to 18 in a matter of minutes.
Back-to-back team wipes right after he picks up the Bloodstone. That's a pretty ideal scenario there for the Timbersaw. When you pick up Bloodstone, if you die right away, it's awful and it kind of cripples some of your momentum. But if you get a couple of kills straight away, and I mean 18 Bloodstone charges at 25 minutes is rather absurd. Also, a Veil of Discord on the way for the Sand King. So we talked about the synergy between Skywrath and the Tinker there, between the E-Blade and the Ancient Seal. But Veil of Discord on top of that. Ohio's already doing a lot of damage. I can't even imagine with all this minus armor, or all this minus magic armor that is now out on the field.
Yeah, so everything on the line for Invasion now. This game is up for elimination. They're going to try to make something happen here. All ultimates available. They have to make this fight count.
Yep, they smoke up. They need a Black Hole. FCFC has been initiated upon, and this time they'll find the jump. Tootie gets doomed straight away. And Exorcism popped. Ghost throws out the Sprout around Extinct, and Skywrath will fall. FCFC with the Black Hole on 2. Ohio and KYXY caught all alone. Tinker falls. Razor goes down shortly after. It's a 3-for-0 trade to get things started. Keshik on the front lines, looking to grab Tootie and a Lantern, but they've got the 2 Blink Daggers and the heroes that are hard to lock down. They will survive, or will they? Ghost comes in, connects with a Sprout. A Lantern, Burrow strikes away. And a few more right clicks might be enough to bring him down. Oh, the Crypt Swarm won't be enough. The Blink just as Doom goes to the auto attack, but here's the aggressive Yules. And Tootie goes back in. He wants to turn it around. It's Tootie versus the world. 1-on-5. He'll get telekinesed and silenced, but they can't bring him down. The regeneration is too much. Chakra flies through. It's too easy for Tootie. He brings down the Nature's Prophet. Okay, comes back with a stolen Burrow Strike, but now Lantern's back in. It's a real Burrow Strike. Double kill for Tootie. As he finishes off the Rubik, Keswick gets silenced. It very well could be a triple as he takes a Whirling Death. The damage from Skywrath flying through. And the defensive Yules comes in, but just makes for an easy Chakram. It's a triple kill. Timbersaw's too damn tanky, and he turns it around.
Absolutely insane plays from Tootie there. I don't know if this is a trial period for him to join the team, but he is earning his money right here and now. That was absolutely insane. And the cool thing about it is that even if he had been killed off with his aggressive plays, he would have, because he has so many Bloodstone charges, he would have had an instant respawn to TP to the tower and go at it again with full HP and mana. So he had absolutely nothing to lose there. He went in and he made some big plays happen. They didn't even bring down the Sand King there. I don't know why the Death Prophet hesitated so long in using the Yules, because it does put Blink on cooldown now with the 50 damage it incurs, so they could have Yulesed him a lot sooner, regrouped, finished it off, but no, Sand King gets away by the skin of his teeth, and Tootie just shows what he is worth.
Yep, old habits die hard with the Yules. That's one of those small changes that on payroll 50 damage, who cares, but utility things like that, interrupting the Blink Dagger, certainly important to note. KYXY on his way to the Refresher, has the Perseverance and the Oblivion Staff. No recipe quite yet, but for 28 minutes, Razor's Farm is pretty darn scary. These back-to-back successful team fights for Titan have really paid dividends, and the gold graph, even though it has a little dent, still a 7,500 gold lead and 14,000 experience lead, If you hit your E and look at that level chart, yeah, that's a pretty big disparity. Timbersaw now level 19, Razor 18, and the highest levels on Invasion are 15. Both Doom and DP still shy of those level 3 ultimates. Titan in great shape just across the board, and DP now, she'll hang on to the casual vitality booster. It seems she just wants the BKB. The magic damage is a bit too much for her to handle.
Yeah. We're going to be seeing Tinker go for a different build than we're used to in almost any meta game scene. Ohio, obviously, he has his own ability to pave his own path because he has minimal precedent when it comes to his Tinker play. But going Dagon 3, then halting that, and instead of going for like an Ethereal Blade, he goes in for a Staff of Wizardry, which could turn into most likely a Force Staff. I mean, there are like 5 different items it could be, but Force seems the most appropriate. And that might be just a way of bailing out teammates who are stuck in the black hole, stuck in the Doom, and just need to get out of a difficult position.
Yeah, it's certainly a good utility item to get teammates out of dodge, but Skywrath obviously going for a Rod of Atos here. If they really wanted a Force Staff that bad, it seems natural that Extinct would be a good candidate to pick it up, or even the Sand King, it was 1,300 gold. Slowing down the Tinker's progression towards the E-Blade and even leveling up that Dagon more for a support-based item seems like kind of an odd choice to me, but it will be the Force Staff. We'll go ahead and complete it here and just sit pretty on that level 3 Dagon for now.
Yep. I mean, he knows that they've got the damage, they've got the frontline durability. As long as they can close the distance on their opponents and put who they want on the front lines, then I think they can just take every fight from this point forward. So I guess it is just making sure you're in the right position to do the right activities and avoid those hard black holes, which almost lost them the fight on the top lane.
Yeah. It also seems a little strange to me because Tinker is your ideal Doom target. So even if he gets doomed and backs out, he won't be able to use the Force Staff to help his allies. As we saw in that last fight, he was doomed and then the black hole followed up. So the Force Staff wouldn't have helped him too much. I mean, maybe you could make a case he could have Force Stabbed away from the Doom, but I don't know. Interesting choices here. We'll see another smoke from Invasion. Same story, different chapter as they try it again to make a hold of the top tier 2, but this time Titan will be somewhat privy to it. KYXY pops his Refresher, gets off the first Eye of the Storm, but does take a Doom. They force out the 10-second BKB charge from the Doombringer without committing to a fight. So now ADTR will have it stuck on cooldown for a minute as Titan commit to this tier 2 tower push.
I don't think they can hold. I mean, even with a perfect Midnight Pulse Black Hole, which of course Enigma doesn't have the Blink initiation for, that's such a loss. The BKB number, there was a 10-second BKB, so the longest cooldown, and of course the Doom, which is 70 seconds now unavailable, completely wasted, just to prevent KYXY from, you know, YOLO 2 ultimates. I mean, yeah, it's great to take one of the 2 Aghanims Eye of the Storms up, but just because you eliminated that cooldown doesn't mean you in any way helped your position here.
Yeah, most definitely. And now Titan, press forward. KYXY with just the single Eye of the Storm on right now. Used the Refresher earlier, so he's not stacking them. But here we go. We'll see the fight break out. Ohio in trouble. He'll get caught in the trees. Black hole on 3. But there's the follow-up with the huge epicenter. And they've got more than enough damage to bring down 4. Buybacks aplenty from Invasion. 3 have now bought back, and they will clean things up. Alanter, the last one stuck in the base, and I don't think he'll make it out. Gets caught in the Sprout, and he will die. Invasion hold and keep their tier 3 tower alive, but it's costly. 3 buybacks burned to make it happen.
Yeah, I don't think that fight would have been nearly the same if they had the BKB at the very least. I'm not sure about the Doom, but the BKB would have kept ADTR in the fight, and essentially his buyback was based on his mistake there just a moment before. Now they're going to look to Roshan, try to pick up the pieces here as they have lost so much with buyback. They'll get a tiny bit back from the Roshan kill, but most importantly, it's the Aegis. It's going to allow them to actually try to fight with more numbers than their opposition. Right now, as far as buybacks go, the only one that has it available is Alanter. He's been saving a lot, but everybody else is falling short in either time or money, and in that sense, they really need that second life.
Yeah, definitely. And uh-oh, Tootie, it's him versus the world once again, but this time he doesn't have the skills to pay the bills. Doom has an ultimate, hits him with a level death, gets the extra damage, and Ohio now, he joins the party. He gets off a March of the Machine, but gets silenced. Rubik, let's see steal. That'll be a March.
That Force Staff just paid for itself. There's no way 2D survives that without Ohio Force Staffing him out. Like, that is absolutely the perfect item for the perfect situation. There's no way for Timber... Unfortunately, it's kind of ironic that Timbersaw is done in by trees. That he gets sprouted in and he has no way to cut it because he's doomed. But that's where the Force Staff comes in. That's where he stays alive, and Timbersaw has nothing to fear now.
And he, down to 16 Bloodstone charges. Had to Had to take a suicide in that last fight in the base, unfortunately for him, but still a lot of regeneration. Now has a Reaver. This Timbersaw is damn tanky.
Yeah. I think the most unfortunate part is that he had to suicide at the last moment. If he had suicided sooner, then I think he actually could have healed his team so much that they actually would have won the fight subsequently, even after the multiple buybacks. There was 3 buybacks, and if he had bloodstoned right when they were taking the most damage, then I think they would have actually turned it around him once again, because that is absolutely insane as far as healing goes.
He
starts out of 500.
What, yeah, 500 plus 30 per charge. He had like 23 charges, something like that. That's like 1,000. That's a pretty big heal. You're damn right. But we'll hold that thought as there's no glyph available here. KYXY with the double Eye of the Storm on, drops the tier 3 tower. It could cost him his life as they initiate on him. He pops his mech. Here's the counter initiation. Elantra comes in with the stun. Mystic Flare to follow up. They don't have the damage to bring down Ghost. But again, Doom pops his BKB, and they don't commit to the fight. That's your that was your 8-second BKB. This Doom just can't catch a break with his magic immunity.
No, this is just a really precarious position, even with the Aegis of the Immortal there, so it's just like, it's a difficult spot to be in, and I don't really see an answer.
Yep. And who's holding the Aegis right now?
Yeah, I was just looking that up, and I'm not...
They never killed Roche.
They never killed Roche, okay.
Yeah, I was going to say, I don't remember seeing the Aegis pop into an inventory. Yeah, they completely repelled the push, or the Roche with that Force Staff. After that, all of Titan respawned, and Invasion didn't commit for it, so...
Yeah, I was so looking over those other little things that I kind of missed the obvious one. They didn't bother. They don't really have that much physical right-click damage, to be honest. Like, if they have Eidolons there, that certainly helps. But right now, it's like Nature's Prophet hits for 150, Doom hits for 180, somewhere in there.
They do have a Medallion, though, so that does make things a little easier. Medallion on the Rubik. But, yeah, certainly right. Not a naturally fast Roche lineup. Elantra. Uh-oh, he'll be in some trouble. They burn the dust. He gets hit by a level death. Then Sand King falls in the mid. And maybe that will delay Titan's pushing efforts here a moment longer. They do need their Sand King in these team fights. The Epicenter has proved to be a crucial part of their team fight entourage. Sand King with a Perseverance right now. Is he looking for possibly a refresher as well? Is that...
If he was in troll mode right now, I would definitely say it would be, because that's just like a pretty silly thing to see, the double Epicenter, but more likely just a Lincoln Sphere against the Doom.
Okay, yeah, the Lincoln's coming. I was thinking Lincoln's, but you just don't see that on Sand King too often. Almost
no, not at all.
Going for an Ag Scepter, I think, is almost a better choice here, because has he been victim of Doom that much? He has not been a very high priority target.
But you can put it on the Tinker, and then he's able to just do whatever the heck he wants.
Be the support utility. Yeah, I gotcha. I said old habits die hard. I still forget sometimes that sharing is caring when it comes to Lincoln Sphere.
Most definitely. Still, you have to worry about the level death, taking that off, whoever the target is, and they obviously see the animation when it's the big blue bubble on them. Anyways, we're going to see some pretty big item pickups come out here. The BKB coming out for the Death Prophet is pretty huge, and it certainly helps her survivability. She went from just like having a casual Voidstone and building up a very early Yules to suddenly going Drum, VIP Booster, BKB, just going tank, 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 and trying to live through this entourage of damage. But we still are looking at Dagon 3, soon to be maxed Epicenter with Veil, and of course that Timbersaw that just devastates with his skill set as well as Shiva's Guard.
Yeah. To be honest, though, I do like this play from Ketchik on the Death Prophet. I think he needed a BKB so much in these last fights, and maybe that will be enough to take a good team fight and make a hold at this top lane where they don't have a tower anymore. Enigma has picked up his pipe. It was completed just a moment ago, so another big item that they didn't have in the last engagement. Also, the Scythe of Ice on Nature's Prophet. 3 more tools as Doom hops forward. BKB popped by KYXY, maybe a bit premature as he presses forward, looking for a potential kill. Has both Eye of the Storms available. No, he's already used his first one. Refresher available. And KYXY now getting some of that Doom syndrome.
This is the game of tactical zoning BKBs. They're like, okay, they can't fight us for 10 seconds, guys. We got this. I don't know. But no matter what, he can refresh the BKB, get 9 seconds out of it anyways, and yeah, they might still be able to make something out of this.
Yep, a fair point. I guess for him it's less of an issue when he has the refresher available. But Tinker with about 4,600 gold. We'll see where he wants to go from here. He may be pulling up just to grab the E-Blade. I reckon if he wanted to level up that Dagon to 5, he would have done it by now with all that gold he's stockpiled. So I'm not sure exactly what Ohio's angle is at this point with the amount of savings that he's amassed as he continues to farm the side lanes while his teammates press forward.
Gets sheeped up by Ghost. Isn't going to be enough to bring him down, though. He's out of range. He's not going to be able to get close enough, and now he's worried about the retaliation. Timbersaw comes in, but without a Hex or anything, Ghost will get out scot-free, just spooking Tinker just a little bit. As far as item progression goes, yeah, he's probably going to be looking for that Ethereal Blade. I mean, there is a possibility of him going like Lincoln's or something weird, but most likely just wants to reinforce his team value, but wants to wait until he can get E-Blade plus buyback because of how crucial it is at this late game stage.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that makes a lot of sense. He has not all the net worth on the team. We've seen games certainly where it's more one-sided and Tinker carrying the weight of the whole team, but yeah, his buyback is pretty darn crucial. Titan has lost some of their footing here. They still have a huge lead, 14,000 gold, 20,000 experience, but Invasion is a pretty decent turtle team with the Black Hole and the Exorcism. Those two abilities alone make it difficult just to press forward and shove into the tower. Conversely, though, very hard for them to actually take more objectives. There's only Tier 1 towers down on the side of Titan, all 3 Tier 2s still standing, but Invasion can't really leave their side of the map to make a serious push towards them.
So it is going to be all 4 of them here, and of course you can easily BOT in to help out your allies once the creep wave is nearby. They're just kind of looking for that quick early pickoff on the Doom, who seems to be constantly like, I wouldn't say overextending out of position, but just a little bit out of line. If they can punish that, that would be incredible. But they don't get that opportunity this time around. Ohio rejoins them, this time with a shiny Lincoln Sphere. So it is just short of buyback for him, but if he gets a kill or an assist in the team fight, then he might be just that much closer to it.
Yeah, here we go. Initiation onto the Doom as a Lantern hops forward. Silences come out from the Death Prophet. BKB popped on Doom once again as he runs away.
Zoning BKBs, man. Zoning BKBs.
Yep, and that BKB is now down to 6 seconds, and he hasn't even really used it in a team fight yet. Now KYXY, he'll pop his BKB. The Structure BKB gets popped as well as the Eye of the Storms are running amok. The first one will expire pretty soon, but Ranged Racks will get taken out. Now Exorcism flies, KYXY in deep. The rest of his team will stay back, and he'll be the sacrificial lamb. They get the Ranged Racks out of it, so they find something. BKB on Keshik is used as well. There's the Yule's Scepter. He'll get turned around upon as the Mystic Flare flies. Down he goes. ADTR pops the Doom onto Tootie. Black Hole silenced right away. And now FZ in some trouble. Epicenter flies through. A lot of damage comes out. And Invasion in deep, deep doo-doo. Buyback from the Razor as he wants to get back to this party. ADTR and Nature's Prophet, the last 2 remaining defenders. And it's soon to be just the Nature's Prophet. Triple kill for a Lantern. And at the very least, this top lane of Rax will fall as Evasion get completely cleaned up.
Yeah, they only have the 2 buybacks remaining, and they are definitely going to lose one lane. They're going to try to hold and defend a second. If they lose both the top and mid lanes of Rax, I don't see them coming back from it. But they are up against one Eye of the Storm already. That's going to persist, and they're just going to be mauling down this tower with that backdoor protection. Unfortunately, the Nature's Prophet, he was TPing away and had maybe half a second left on it, but dies to Tinker's auto attacks of all things. So unfortunate losses, and it's just almost a foregone conclusion. But first, the BM pause from a Lantern.
Yeah. Yeah, this will be the second lane of Rax. Invasion won't tap out quite yet. Doom and the Nature's Prophet down for 50 seconds. Even with the Enigma Rubik, not so much they can do. Enigma with Enigma with no ultimate available despite coming up in just a few seconds here. Extinct having some mouse issues, but that's all right. That won't stop them from getting mega creeps here, Blaze.
No,
looks like
I mean, they've got the
Titan
2
are doing
buybacks. They're holding it to the last possible moment, but it looks like the guy's just going to feed, and from there, the wait is over. It's not going to work.
Yeah, there's not much they can do. Backdoor protection. Will it kick in? Well, at the very least, they will retreat for now. 37 to 24. Now the lead upwards of 20,000 gold, 25,000 experience. Tinker grabs a couple of medallions because, hey, everybody needs a medal now and then.
You just like buy them and sell them back. Just
I guess. I don't really know what that was about, but oh Jesus! Doom is hanging, so watch out.
Hang 10 pauses. I don't know what to say about this. At this point, like the game has progressed to a point where there is, I would say like a 0.1% chance of Invasion coming back. Like, they have no cooldowns available right now. They have no fortification. They have almost no base. And Titan are just in a dominating spree. I guess we can just talk about the past rather than the present, because to talk about this last bit of game, unless it's the Game of Throws, it's not really to a point of relevancy. So I guess talking about how they transitioned from being just destroyed for the first 20 minutes to absolutely turning the other way. I guess it comes down to Alanter's participation. His epicenters have been really on point, and to a point that I think Invasion kind of forgot about the Sand King. He wasn't active for 20 full minutes. You're like, okay, well, this guy's hardly in the game, but one item, the Blink Dagger, enables him to just do so much work. And on the back of such an aggressive player as 2D is, getting that safe lane farming, that early durability, as well as the Bloodstone momentum, they were able to just do so much work against Invasion.
Yeah, they had, again, back-to-back full 5-for-0 team wipes when, like, right after 2D got the Bloodstone. So literally on 18 Bloodstone charges, just mere minutes after he completed the item. All right, I take that back. It wasn't 2 full team wipes. Tinker did get denied from a Doom in one of those 2, so it was a 1-for-10 exchange across the 2 team fights. But looks like Doom will reconnect here. I saw some talk in chat. Of course, we have stream delay here, so it's over now, but Tinker does not rearm Lincolns. I know that would be a ridiculous, silly mechanic, but yes, Lincolns is one of those items on the list that rearm does not work for. So, yeah, Lincolns on Tinker, not a particularly synergistic item, just works well in the context of this game because of the Doom, as Blaze was mentioning.
So that's just causing him no end of grief, because there's very few other single target abilities that will counteract it. Like the Enigma has the Malefice if he gets in range. The Tinker has a couple of cool abilities. And I guess, yeah, Sprout and Hex and...
Level Death and Telekinesis, yeah. Fade Bolt. They have some stuff to break.
It's there, but it's so limited compared to where the Doom is going to be. The Doom's going to be on the front line because he has the BKB Blink. He's supposed to be the initiator. The Rubik, if he is anywhere near the fight, he evaporates. So yeah, I really don't see the Lincolns taking down 2 Lincolns. If they focus Lincolns onto one target, I don't see that person getting doomed. That's all.
And yeah, that's another good thing to point out. You can stack the Lincolns. You can give him a Lincoln's buff while he has one, and that will give him 2 Lincoln's charges. So you can do that, but this is probably the last push here. KYXY, BKB, double Eye of the Storm goes straight for the tower, and Ketchik pops his ultimate, BKB as well, but he's getting dropped quickly. The double Eye of the Storm does a lot of damage to structures and heroes alike as Death Prophet falls with the Exorcism live. KYXY may very well go down. The Force Staff will buy him some time as he pushes into the base. Goes down to the Nature's Prophet. 2D the one that takes the Doom. Ohio now will get hexed up. The Tier 3 tower still standing. No Glyph. Enigma coming in for a black hole. Has the cooldown but gets destroyed by the Mystic Flare. No buyback available on him. Evasion on their last leg. And a Lancer maybe will get picked off by the Doom. Burrow Strike in. Kind of 2 fights breaking out here as Tootie's on one side and a Lancer on the other. Tinker rejoining. Now down goes the Doom. 2 heroes standing. GG played as the Doom falls. And the last remaining heroes do get cleaned up. It's just the Rubik versus the Tinker. I wonder who's going to win this one.
Very well played.
They take it. Well played by both sides. An interesting series, but Titan take it. Not the best execution we've seen from Titan, though. They did have a last-second stand-in, Net having connection issues for Game 3. They brought in a Lancer, and it was a little rough at the beginning, but the moral of the story is they seal the deal, and Ohio's Tinker performs 12-5 and 16 at the end of the game.
Yeah, nice movement there, and yeah, they definitely were out of sync for a period of time, but the Sand King got his act together, and as a whole, the team pushed on forward. So some sloppiness as far as some unnecessary deaths from Titan early, and Invasion maybe using some cooldowns unnecessary later. And in general, it wasn't a perfect game, but it was a very interesting one as the team fights were just glorious to watch. So happy to be a part of it and happy to be on the cast, man.
Yep, absolutely. So we will have a break here, guys. We have one more best of 3 coming up tonight. Of course, that is the lower set of semifinals. It is Johnny's Revenge, the new SEA stack team, up against MVP Phoenix. So that is scheduled to start in about 45 minutes. I did poke the admins to see if we were going to start a little bit earlier and try to move that up, or if we'll have a 45-minute break, and I'm still waiting on the confirmation one way or another. I think at this point it stands to reason we will have a nice, decent break here, some time to hop up, get some food, fill up those tummies, maybe pound a Red Bull or 2, and come back for another epic best-of-3 series. We will see Titan tomorrow in the grand finals, and their opponent will be decided here in this next matchup. I'm Zayori, joined remotely by Blaze. Of course, follow us both on Twitter and Facebook, at Zayori TV and at Blaze Casting, and give Beyond the Summit some love as well, at Beyond the Summit on both Facebook and Twitter. Thanks for joining us here on BTS. We'll be back after this break.